Known for country music and a lifestyle deeply rooted in the American South, Travis Tritt has always moved beyond familiar boundaries, pulling rock, blues, and southern rock into his sound without losing its core. That same instinct now shapes his daily life on a farm in Georgia, where open grasslands stretch wide, wooden fences follow the land's natural lines, and the air carries the scent of soil and sun. Life here unfolds slowly, guided by routine rather than noise. It is within this setting that he lives today, grounded and deliberate, offering a clearer sense of a life that now fits him and remains unmistakably Southern. What we see less clearly is the road that led Travis Tritt to his life today. And to understand why this place exists, we need to return to 1963 in Marietta, Georgia, where his journey truly began. Travis grew up in a household that valued discipline, yet lived with constant financial uncertainty. Music entered his life early, through church choirs and small school stages, at a time when it carried no promise of income. At 8 years old, his first guitar appeared not as a tool for making a living, but as an emotional anchor. By 14, playing alongside his Uncle Sam Lockhart in church bands and local events, music began to demand time, discipline, and endurance, even though it still brought him no money at all. After high school, reality arrived without ceremony. Travis moved between part-time jobs in furniture stores and supermarkets, sharing a home with his mother after his parents' divorce. Music was no longer a dream discussed lightly at the dinner table. His father doubted it could ever support a life, while his mother urged him toward gospel as a safer option. During those years, money came only in fragments, a few $1,000s at best from small performances, barely enough to register. His net worth hovered near zero. Music survived not because it paid, but because he refused to let go of it. The late 1980s marked the first real shift. A demo recorded with Danny Davenport opened the door to Warner Brothers Records, and by 1990, Country Club reached the public. The album sold approximately 2 million copies and generated around $2.6 million in gross sales. Yet behind the numbers, the reality remained restrained. After production costs, label structures, and touring expenses, Travis's personal earnings stayed modest. His net worth remained under $1 million, estimated between $300,000 and $500,000. Success had arrived, but security still lagged behind. Momentum built quickly. Between 1991 and 1994, releases such as It's All About to Change and Trouble transformed visibility into financial movement. More than 5 million albums sold during that stretch, producing roughly $6.6 million in combined revenue. Touring expanded nationally, pushing annual earnings into the $1 to $2 million range. By the end of 1992, his net worth reached approximately $2 to $3 million, supported by royalties, radio dominance, and guaranteed tour advances rather than sudden windfalls. The mid-1990s brought both commercial peak and financial clarity. 10 Feet Tall and Bulletproof alone sold over 2 million copies, adding another $2.7 million in revenue, while acting roles and endorsements quietly widened his income base. Annual earnings climbed to $2 to $3 million, and by the end of 1994, Travis Tritt's net worth had grown to around $5 million, built patiently through platinum records and relentless touring rather than short-term deals. Even as radio momentum softened toward the end of the decade, income did not collapse. Greatest hits, From the Beginning and The Restless Kind, together sold more than 2 million copies, contributing roughly $2.6 million more. Film appearances and touring kept annual income between $2 to $4 million. By the late 1990s, accumulated royalties and early investments had pushed his net worth close to $10 million, even as his relationship with Warner Brothers came to an end. The 2000s unfolded at a slower pace. Albums like Down the Road I Go still moved around 1 million copies, generating roughly $1.3 million, but later releases sold fewer than 300,000 units. Annual income eased into the $1 to $2 million range, sustained largely by touring and catalog royalties. By the mid-2000s, long-term income streams and real estate holdings in Georgia had carried his net worth to approximately $15 to $20 million. The most decisive financial moment arrived in 2007, not from music, but from resolution. After Category 5 Records collapsed, Travis won a lawsuit totaling $10 million. Album sales that year were minimal, but the settlement instantly reshaped his financial position. By the end of 2007, his net worth surged to approximately $25 million, securing a level of independence his career had never previously allowed. From 2008 through 2015, the focus shifted to endurance rather than scale. Acoustic tours, selective releases, and consistent live performances kept annual income steady at $1 to $2 million. Careful financial management continued to work quietly in the background, lifting his net worth to around $30 million by 2015. Between 2016 and 2020, renewed touring and the steady pull of catalog streaming generated $2 to $3 million annually. Even as the pandemic disrupted live schedules, royalty income softened the impact. By the end of 2020, his net worth stabilized between $32 to $34 million. Today, with tours scheduled through 2026, Travis Tritt maintains annual earnings of approximately $2 million from live performances, royalties, and merchandise. Over time, those income streams have accumulated and stabilized, bringing his net worth to around $35 million as a natural result of decades spent working with consistency and discipline. By this stage, financial stability was no longer a question of ambition or momentum for him, but the result of sustained work, long-term control, and choices he had made carefully over decades. How do you see the way he built his career and financial life over time? Share your thoughts in the comments. And now, let's return to his farm in Georgia. Ranch in Georgia. Travis Tritt owns a ranch in Hiram, Georgia, a property he acquired from 5 exceptional ranches and gradually shaped into a private world centered on land, family, and routine. Spanning 157 acres, the ranch balances comfort with purpose, offering a lifestyle that feels grounded rather than performative, where daily life is guided by space and familiarity instead of display. At the heart of the property sits a 4,140 square foot residence with 4 bedrooms and 4.5 bathrooms. Positioned centrally, the home functions as an anchor rather than a statement. Inside, the layout favors openness and use. A modern kitchen supports real gatherings, while the spacious living room, warmed by a gas fireplace, becomes the natural place where conversations slow and evenings stretch. The house carries every modern convenience expected of a high-end property, yet nothing feels excessive. It is built to be lived in, not admired from a distance. Just beyond the main residence, an expansive entertainment space extends the rhythm of the home outward. Nearly 3,840 square feet in size and fully climate-controlled, it allows family and friends to gather comfortably throughout the year. Along with a fully equipped shed, the property offers close to 8,000 square feet of air-conditioned space under one roof, making hosting feel effortless and unforced. These areas reflect how Travis uses the ranch not as a retreat from people, but as a place where connection happens naturally. The land itself defines much of the lifestyle here. 65 acres are prepared for Bermuda grass cultivation or grazing, surrounded by fenced pastures, multiple shelters, and a rotating irrigation system fed by 6 wells. The setup supports horses, livestock, and agriculture with intention rather than ornament. Fish ponds, along with duck and goose habitats, bring quiet movement to the landscape, turning the ranch into a living environment instead of a static backdrop. Beyond Hiram, Travis also spends time on land in southern Georgia, where hunting plays an important role in his life. He often shares moments from these trips with his sons, capturing scenes that reflect tradition, patience, and time spent together outdoors. These images do not feel staged. They read as extensions of the same values that shape his ranch life. Family first, land second, and everything else after. Taken as a whole, the Hiram Ranch is not simply a residence. It is the setting that allows Travis Tritt to live with consistency and intention, grounded in routine, shaped by the outdoors, and closely tied to the people he values most. Not far from the ranch, there is another home the family often retreats to, a place used simply to rest, reconnect, and step away from routine. Estate in Georgia. Located in Powder Springs, Georgia, just west of Atlanta, Travis Tritt's estate reflects a life that has slowed into balance. Quiet, private, and wide enough for family routines to unfold naturally, this southern property shows clearly how he chooses to live today. Valued at approximately $1.2 million, the estate centers around a home of over 4,000 square feet, offering space not for display, but for comfort and continuity. This is where Travis often shares moments from his daily life on Instagram. Family gatherings, holiday celebrations, and calm afternoons at home appear regularly, not staged or polished, but captured as they happen. These images feel less like updates and more like reminders of what matters most to him now. The exterior carries classic Southern character. Warm brick walls are paired with clean white columns, giving the house a grounded and familiar presence. During the recent Christmas season, soft lights lined the porch and entrance, creating a welcoming glow that emphasized warmth over grandeur. The home does not try to impress. It simply feels lived in. A darker-toned front door opens into a spacious living room that functions as the heart of the house. Furnished in warm colors and gentle lighting, the space invites conversation and rest. During holidays, a large Christmas tree anchors the room, and this is where the family gathers for photos and shared moments that quietly define togetherness. Behind the house, a swimming pool and open yard create a more relaxed rhythm. The family spends time here during long weekends and breaks, swimming, resting, and gathering without schedule. Travis often takes on the role of cooking during these moments, working at the outdoor setup while talking with family and friends, moving easily between music, family, and everyday life. There is also a dedicated room where music continues in a more personal way. It is not a professional studio, but a quiet space where Travis plays guitar with close friends. Here, music exists without pressure or expectation, simply as part of who he is. Beyond his farm, the Powder Springs estate is the place that allows him to slow down. It is more than a residence. It is shaped by family, habit, and time. And leaving this quiet estate behind, we follow Travis Tritt back into motion, where his cars reflect the rhythm of his life beyond home. Car collection. At the age of 64, Travis Tritt approaches cars with the same clarity he brings to life. Whether classic machines or modern powerhouses, every vehicle in his garage reflects a distinct sense of taste, status, and speed. Let's begin with a piece of American history. A classic Jeep Gladiator from the 1960s or early 1970s, a model that today is valued at approximately $40,000 to $70,000, depending on condition. For Travis Tritt, this is not simply a vehicle, but a reminder of where everything began. Finished in blue and white, its squared-off body reflects an era when durability came before comfort and simplicity carried its own kind of elegance. Powered by a classic V8, the Jeep delivers a raw, honest driving experience. It remains closely tied to Travis's past, encouraging patience and awareness long before speed ever became the focus. As life shifted into a different rhythm, with touring schedules tightening and travel becoming constant, nostalgia alone was no longer enough. Travis needed reliability, space, and control. That is where the Lincoln Navigator, from around the 2018 to 2020 model years, enters the picture. A full-size luxury SUV with an original purchase price in the range of $90,000, It offers the comfort and quiet needed for long distances between shows. Once interviewed while stepping into the Navigator before a tour stop, Travis revealed a clear preference for stability and control over spectacle. As time moved forward and classic vehicles became less practical, Travis naturally shifted towards something more functional. His most recent choice is the Ford F-150, priced at approximately $65,000, a truck he values for its strength, versatility, and everyday comfort. In a family photo shared on Instagram, he stands beside it with his son, relaxed and unguarded. At this stage of life, this is the vehicle he uses most, not to make a statement, but to support a routine that feels steady, grounded, and fully his own. These cars do not describe excess or display, but a progression from memory to control, and finally to balance, reflecting how Travis Tritt moves through life today, with confidence shaped by time, experience, and intention. Beyond how he moves through the world, another side of Travis Tritt begins to show in the quieter ways he chooses to give back over time. Philanthropy. You'll probably be surprised when I announce this number. 35 years. Precisely the length of Travis Tritt's philanthropic work, which will continue until 2026. And according to our updated estimates, the amount he has donated is over $3 million. That journey began quietly in the 1990s, as his career gained national momentum. Instead of separating success from responsibility, Travis used his platform to support causes close to home, including the Charlie Daniels Volunteer Jam for Veterans and the Lily Claire Foundation, where his performances and donations helped raise approximately $50,000 for children with developmental challenges. By the end of the decade, royalties and appearances had brought his personal giving to nearly $100,000. In the 2000s, his focus widened. Travis joined Farm Aid in 2000 to support American farmers, continuing his involvement through promotion and personal donations totaling around $20,000. At the same time, he directed attention toward healthcare and music communities, raising $30,000 for the Sweet Relief Musicians Fund and donating roughly $50,000 from album sales to music education programs for underprivileged children. His work with Habitat for Humanity also took shape during this period, contributing an estimated $100,000 through benefit performances. The following years showed consistency rather than spectacle. From 2013 to 2020, Travis supported cancer research, veterans initiatives, and musicians affected by financial hardship. A single charity appearance for the American Cancer Society generated $20,000, while pandemic-era live streams raised $100,000 to support unemployed musicians. These efforts reflected a steady belief that giving should respond to real need, especially during moments of crisis. Since 2021, his philanthropy has centered on children's health, veterans' recovery, and education. Concerts and partnerships raised $150,000 for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, while proceeds from later releases added further support. By 2025 and 2026, his work continues through benefit tours and the expansion of Chords for Change, a music education program funded with over $150,000 to provide instruments and lessons for underserved children. What matters here is not the scale of the numbers, but the rhythm behind them. Years of showing up, responding, and staying involved. And when the stage lights fade, that same rhythm continues at home, shaping the personal life Travis Tritt has chosen to live beyond the spotlight. Personal life. As of 2026, Travis Tritt lives a life that feels settled and intentional. Music remains an active part of his days, but it no longer dictates the rhythm of everything else. He continues the Travis Tritt Tour 2026 with consistency, staying true to the outlaw country sound he believes in, choosing longevity over trends and clarity over noise. At the heart of that stability is family. Travis has been married to his wife, Teresa Nelson, since April 12, 1997. Nearly 3 decades together have shaped a household grounded in routine and trust. They share 3 children, Tyler Reese, Tristan James, and Tarian Nathaniel, and the closeness between them is visible in the way they choose to spend time together. Holidays are rarely about spectacle. They are quiet gatherings at home, with food, music, and long conversations filling the space naturally. 2 of his children have followed a musical path of their own. Tyler Reese has joined several of her father's shows as an opening act and backing vocalist, while Tristan has also shown a deep connection to music. Yet what defines the family most is not performance, but presence. Labor Day weekends are spent together. The new year is welcomed at the farmhouse. Long holidays often lead them to the beach, away from schedules and obligations. Much of Travis's daily life now unfolds on his farm in Georgia. This is where his priorities become most visible. He goes hunting with his 2 sons, moving through the land at an unhurried pace. In recent photos, their matching orange-toned outfits stand out, not as a statement, but as part of a shared routine that feels honest and familiar. Beyond family, he remains socially connected in ways that feel unforced. He visits friends at local pubs, rides his motorcycle with his wife, and takes time to reconnect with people he respects. Moments like his visit with Marty Smith and Ryan McGee on the SEC network reflect the same ease. Conversations without performance, laughter without agenda. Today, Travis Tritt's life feels aligned. Career, family, and personal time no longer compete for attention. They exist side by side, supporting one another. And that balance may be the most meaningful chapter of his story so far. And as always, we'd love to hear from you. How do you see this quieter, more grounded side of Travis Tritt today? Share your thoughts in the comments, and stay with us as we continue exploring the stories that shape the lives behind the music.